Rexy, you know what today is?
What's that?
December 1st.
Now you're
Welcome
talking.
to December, everybody.
When the snow flies.
You gotta win when the snow flies. Let's go.
And this is when the real teams separate themselves. Let's roll on a football Monday. We go to Pittsburgh yesterday. The Bills and the Steelers, the showdown of the day. First half.
Mind when the crowd chanting to fire you in your home stadium.
Man, I share their frustration tonight, man. We didn't do enough. And that's just the reality of it.
Do the solutions to turn this thing around exist in your building?
Certainly.
What gives you the confidence that they do?
Keep watching.
All right, keep watching. Indeed, Damian Woody, you watched yesterday. What did you come away thinking?
It's time. It's time. It's time for Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers to, go their separate ways. And this is not an indictment on Mike Tomlin, the coach. I think Mike Tomlin is still one of the best coaches we have in the National Football League. But there comes a time when the messenger, loses the audience. And I look at this Pittsburgh Steelers team. This is a team where they pushed all of their chips in this year. They went out and signed Aaron Rodgers. They went out and traded for DK Metcalf. They went out and got Jalen Ramsey. They signed TJ Watt. Everything this year was going all in. Mm-hmm. And the Pittsburgh Steelers team that I saw last night was an abomination to the Steelers organization. This is a proud blue chip franchise that got embarrassed at home by the Buffalo Bills. And I just think that once we get past all the smoke, it's time for those two to go their separate ways.
But, the old adage, is 10 years you start to smell and all that, and your message gets lost. I don't think that's the case with Mike Tomlin, all right? I just think right now, do Mike Tomlin a favor and fire him. He would get a job anywhere else in the league in 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Because I think this guy, here's what I know about Mike Tomlin. He's a leader. Mm-hmm. He's an absolute leader. Look, he's not getting older. In my opinion, his message is still current, all those type of things. I just think the roster. Yes, I agree with you, D. Wood. They went all in, no question. But who would have thought that this defense would have been like this? Like, it's the highest paid defense in the National Football League. And they are just getting smashed. Their offensive line, brutal. How bad was yesterday?
It was bad.
Bad. We said going into the game, Greeny, all of us sat around and said, whoever runs the ball the best in this game will win, because that's what it was going to come down to. Mm-hmm. 191 yards different in this game. Buffalo ran for over 191 more yards than Pittsburgh. Absolutely crazy. I've never seen it happen.
That Mike Tomlin's going to leave, it'll be his decision, and they'll come to a meeting and decide mutually that he should move on. And if that were the case, he would be going away the number one head coaching candidate. He could be the top head coaching candidate. He could be the number one broadcasting candidate. He could do whatever he wants. But we'll see if this is the time. The fans want that because they're tired of the fact that the Steelers haven't won a playoff game since 2016. Think about that. In this sport,
yeah.
How can you go that long without winning a playoff game and hold on to your job? On the other hand, you could say, well, he's never had a losing season.
Right.
And how impressive is that? So there's the dichotomy, but they're not going to fire him.
and to your point, it might be some sort of mutual parting of the ways.
If that even comes. If it comes,
maybe, I don't know. The Andy Reid situation obviously is the one people will draw parallels to, and it all worked out very well for Andy Reid in his second stop. And if Mike Tomlin finds a place where they have a quarterback who's some facsimile of Patrick Mahomes, and he certainly hasn't had that in Pittsburgh in a long time, maybe it would work out well for him too.
I think yesterday was one of the lowest and most embarrassing Sundays of the Mike Tomlin tenure. Buffalo came in with both of their starting tackles out of the game.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
And ran the same formation and same play the whole game. That's embarrassing for Pittsburgh. And I know you put it into the context of all time, but for a Mike Tomlin-led team, to have a team without two of their starting offensive linemen come in, and this wasn't a schematic thing. This was like a boring embarrassment. Us as an offense, we lined up in the same thing and said, you're not going to stop it. And they just kept running the same play. Joe Brady, I had to be sitting up there as the play caller for Buffalo, had to be sitting up in the box going, this is comical right now. No one on Pittsburgh defense did anything. No one stopped it. They ran the same 2 runs. They just ran them either towards the tight end or away from the tight end. That's an embarrassment. And for Mike Tomlin, I understand the message. He's a great coach. But my goodness, to have a team come in there and do that to them, that's one of the lowest Sundays that I could imagine or remember in his tenure.
Greeny, when we started Sunday Countdown yesterday, the opening headlines, the last one was that the Buffalo Bills were going into Pittsburgh without their starting left tackle, Deion Dawkins, and their starting right tackle, Spencer Brown, and they were going up against the vaunted Steelers defense of T.J. Watt and Alex Highsmith. And how are these backup tackles, who had a combined 2 NFL starts between them, going to deal with the Pittsburgh Steeler defense? And how they dealt with them was they ran the football down their throat
they ran the same play
all day.
They ran the same play, every play.
And that's the thing that drives me crazy. And look, there's probably going to be changes in Pittsburgh, but it's not going to be Mike Tomlin, in my opinion. Look, this defense has played like this all year. All right? They repeat errors. All right? They don't do anything. Like to me, if you're going to run inside zone on me, you're going to have to, I mean, we're going to come back and stop inside zone, I can assure you, and make you do something else. They never did it. Not once. They just sit back, we're just going to play our coverage, and that's it.
So let me get to the other side of this, because the Steelers have 2 legends in their leadership. They've got their legendary coach. They've got their legendary quarterback. Here was Aaron Rodgers after the game being asked about how he and his receivers might be able to get in better sync.
When there's film sessions, everybody shows up. And when I check to a route, you do the right route. We have our meetings every week. We have other opportunities outside of the facility, and look forward to seeing all the boys there.
So there's that. So they're getting the full Rodgers treatment without any of the good parts, right? Like they're getting the complaining about the receivers. All of them. Rodgers giving you the whole. This is his whole shtick, right? I mean, you're getting all of, except you're not getting any of the good stuff. It was impossible to watch. And as one who is a fan of his and admires him, it was painful. It's
not fun to watch.
Him out there yesterday. He's got the cast on the hand and he can barely move, and he's yelling at receivers, and the offense is absolutely zero. They could have played that game for the rest of our lives, and they would not have scored another touchdown yesterday. It was excruciating to watch that game.
I'm 100% okay with him saying what he said in the press conference, though, because he's telling the truth, and this is the reality. This is when you know it's not going the way you had hoped for it to go. This is when you know that you can feel defeated, regret maybe. You're sitting there getting your absolutely head blown off. You're taking shots. You're in the cold. Your nose is bleeding. I think that Pittsburgh right now offensively it's tough to watch this team because they don't necessarily know what they're good at, and so they're continuing to try to find stuff. And many times Rodgers feels like he's on his own, if not for a Darnell Washington or an occasional DK Metcalf play.
How about Aaron D. Wood?
I just want everybody to know Father Time is undefeated.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like Aaron Rodgers is in his 40s. It is just rare for any player to play at a high level in their 40s. We always go back to Tom Brady. Tom Brady had a Hall of Fame career in his 40s.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's it. It is very hard, okay? And the last time we saw Aaron Rodgers great was probably like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Think about that. Think how far removed Aaron Rodgers is from the time that most people remember Aaron Rodgers as a Hall of Fame player. And now you put him in the situation in Pittsburgh where it's all just going downhill.
Quickly, who did you say it reminds you of?
It reminds me of Muhammad Ali. I was a huge boxing fan and things like that. And it's just hard to watch.
At the end.
At the end. And where it's just like he's got the mind, he just doesn't have the physical talent anymore. And to me, it's just hard to watch. Like this all-time great player play it down to this level.
By the way, they play the Ravens for first place in the division next week. So, I mean, as over as it feels, and it couldn't feel more over no matter how hard they tried, it actually isn't, because the AFC is crazy. And we're going to dive into what's going on there. The Broncos ballin', the Chiefs falling. Will Mahomes be watching the playoffs from home? Who do we trust to make it to the Super Bowl? We dive in with both feet. Plus, Lane's Leap. Kiffin heads to LSU and becomes the biggest villain in the sport. Did his Ole Miss exit expose an even bigger problem in college football? Everybody wants in on this conversation, and everybody will be in as we roll on. Get up on ESPN.